Welcome into Chicago Bears Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Harrison Graham, getting you guys caught up on the latest Chicago Bears news and some rumors as well. So buckle up, lock in, because we got a jam-packed show to get to for you guys. All right, we'll start with this. Could the Chicago Bears go out and sign Julio Jones? Two smoking Jays, it's certainly possible. I could see it happening. 50-50, maybe that's a little high, but certainly a chance because he is a free agent, and the Bears could certainly use another receiver, especially a veteran presence. Bleacher Report proposed this idea. They dropped an article of one move every NFL team should make before Week 1, suggested that the Bears should go out and sign Julio, and something we've talked about this offseason is that the Bears do have legitimate question marks at the wide receiver position. You know what I say here in the first week of July? Let's freaking do it, man. Why not? Why not go out and sign Julio Jones? How fun would that be? Like, certainly Julio has had some injury problems over the past few years, and he's missed a lot of time in these past two seasons. You see last year, just 434 yards and a touchdown, just 3 touchdowns the year before. But when he's healthy, he's still productive. Like 2019's not that long ago, and he had 1,400 yards and 99 catches. I'm not saying he's going to give you that, but can he give you Can he give you what you got in 2020 if he plays 12 to 15 games? Over 50 catches, 700 to 800 yards. Maybe he gives you 4 or 5 touchdowns. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. If healthy, Julio can still play. Quite frankly, a fully healthy Julio is probably pretty easily your number 2 receiver. I think Darnell Mooney is probably going to elevate himself where he would be better than a healthy Julio this year. But after that, I think he's better than Pringle if he's healthy. We don't know nearly enough about Velus Jones Jr. The rest of these guys are competing for roster spots. I think if Julio were to get on board and get healthy, you've got Mooney and Julio on the outside, Pringle and Velus Jones as your kind of secondary weapons, you're feeling a lot better about this position if you were to go get a Julio Jones. So I'm interested. I can't imagine it would be that expensive at this point in NFL free agency, so why not go get in Julio? $3-4 million bucks, maybe incentives up to 6 or 7. You got over $20 million left to work with if you're Ryan Poles. I know you want to roll some of that over, but if you could get Julio on board, I would absolutely do it. Would you take a chance on Julio? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. Let us know in the comments down below. I think I would. I would like to take a chance. Pin comment on today's show, Y for yes or in for no. Next up, could the Bears trade Roquan Smith? This is fake news. This is such a bad idea, and quite frankly, one that I just don't see there's any scenario where this would happen, at least not right now. Trading Roquan Smith does not make any sense because if you're Ryan Poles, you're trying to build a roster with blue-chip players. Roquan Smith might be the biggest blue-chip player that you currently have until Justin Fields proves he can be that. I think Roquan is that guy. This also came from Bleacher Report. I like the Julio idea. I don't like this one. Now, he is entering the final year of his contract. He's eligible for a contract extension, but you're talking about arguably the best player on this football team right now that lacks elite top-end players in terms of volume of them. You don't have a ton of blue-chip guys. Roquan is one of them. Kristopher Knox of Bleacher Report had to say this: before you get angry, Bears fans, too late. Hear me out. Linebacker Roquan Smith is absolutely the sort of defender Chicago should build around long term. He's one of the league's most underrated linebackers and was arguably one of the Pro Bowl's biggest snubs in 2021. Yeah, no one cares about the Pro Bowl. He also added this. This is when I'm just lost. However, the 25-year-old is also set to play on the 5th-year option in 2022, and if he doesn't receive a contract extension soon, he could be on his way out the door in 2023. If the Bears are on the fence, you can bet that another contender would love to have Smith in its lineup. A trade could potentially net Chicago a second or even a first-round pick in return. Let me just first say this. I don't see this at all. This makes no sense. Number 2, a second-round pick? Like, if you're not committed to Roquan, you better get a first back. So the idea that you wouldn't even take a first, you would settle for a second, really makes no sense. I don't get this at all. Could you maybe talk me into, like, if you're trading him to Seattle for, like, DK Metcalf or something like that? Okay, that's a little different because you're trading defense for offense. But even then, your linebacking core is incredibly thin. This doesn't make any sense. You have a blue-chip player in Roquan. You know what he is. Just pay him. I mean, and by the way, the risk of him leaving, have you heard of the franchise tag, Kristopher Knox? The Bears are in no risk of losing Roquan at this point in time. If they want to keep him, he's here. It's as simple as that. Should the Bears trade Roquan Smith? I'm typing K for keep, but if you think they should, type T for trade. I obviously want to keep him in Chicago for the foreseeable future. Out of all the guys that Poles and Eberflus did not handpick, he's probably the top guy I want to keep, unless Justin Fields obviously really, really pans out, and I think he will. That would make Smith number 2 in that case. But at this point in time, I'm not doing anything with Roquan Smith. What I am doing is going live on Call-In every single week to talk about the Chicago Bears. We go live after our Tuesday live shows. So subscribe, download the app on iOS or Android, and join us. It's like Twitter Spaces, but even better. It's got a live chat feature, caller queue. You hop in there. I pod you guys up and you ask me your questions. We talk some Bears football. It's a more, I guess, intimate way to talk Bears with you guys. I love answering your questions on our mailbags on YouTube, but to actually hear your voices, and I feel like I can connect with you guys more. You guys can connect with me. Your chance to call in and talk about the Bears with yours truly, chatsports.com/BearsCallin. That's the place to go subscribe to Bears Now on the Call-In app. Download on iOS or Android, search for Bears Now. Go subscribe. That's another way to find it as well. Roquan Smith is one of the best linebackers in the NFL. Just a few more thoughts here. I mean, the numbers he put up last year were kind of ridiculous. 163 tackles, 12 tackles for loss, 3 pass breakups, 1 interception. Also had 3 sacks. I mean, he does a little bit of everything. This is a player you build around, which Knox said, but then he was like, oh, you could lose him, though. It's risky. No, it's not. Just pay him. Like, it's not risky. You have plenty of cap space next year. You structure it where the new contract begins next year, and you're good to go. It's as simple as that. So I'm keeping Roquan. So at the end of the day, that's kind of end of story there. I'm not trading Smith at this point in time. What's your favorite spot to go on vacation? If you're not aware, I am leaving for Italy, so I'll be gone for the next couple of weeks, but I want to hear it from you guys, your favorite vacation spot, and yeah, don't worry, I know a lot of you guys are like, oh no, what am I going to do? No Bears videos. We're going to have you covered as well, so let me know your favorite spot and subscribe because we'll have videos while you're gone. You want to make me happy? How about let's get to 49,000 subscribers by the time I get back? We're about 300 and some change away. Let's get to 49,000. We'll still have videos out for you guys either from me or from Matthew Peterson. He's going to fill in on a couple of shows as well, so show him some love when he hosts. YouTube.com/BearsNow. Hit that subscribe button right now. All right, final rumor on today's Bears Rumors Roundup. How about sign Justin Houston, the veteran edge rusher? I'll also go two Smokin' Jays here. I do think it's a possibility. We'll have to wait and see. And I do think it becomes more of a possibility. And by the way, NBC Sports Chicago had this one. Josh Schrock talked about a couple of free agents. I wanted to talk about Houston specifically here. If Robert Quinn were to get traded or just simply not show up at training camp and you don't know if he's going to be a part of this thing, signing a guy like Houston makes sense for a couple reasons. One, he's still a solid player. Two, he has connections to this regime. He played under Matt Eberflus in 2019 and 20 for the Indianapolis Colts when Eberflus was the DC. Ryan Poles knows him from Houston's time in Kansas City. And by the way, last time Houston was with Eberflus, he was good. 2 seasons, 19 sacks. That wasn't long ago, 2019 and 20. Last year he had 4.5 sacks for the Baltimore Ravens, but still a productive player. He can get after the quarterback. He's probably best suited as like a number 3 edge rusher, but he's still solid. If Robert Quinn is out of the picture and maybe you're not feeling great about Dominic Robinson just yet, the rookie out of Miami of Ohio, I think Justin Houston could come in here on a cheapish 1-year deal and give you some solid production. Let's say Quinn is not there. You replace him with Al-Quadin Muhammad in the starting lineup. Travis Gibson's your other starting edge. Then Justin Houston can be your 3rd guy. And that way Robinson is just your 4th edge as he continues to develop. If Quinn gets traded, I think Houston's an excellent pickup. I really, really do. So keep an eye on this one. Baltimore's been linked to bringing him back. a couple other teams have been in the mix as well. But I do think the Bears could be a team to monitor here, especially if Quinn does not report to training camp. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks, but there could be some movement here on this Bears roster. Would you sign Justin Houston? Type S for sign, type P for pass. Curious to see where you guys land on this one down in the comments section below. S for sign or P for pass. Make sure you guys are subscribed over on the Callin app, chatsports.com/BearsCallin. Just a quick reminder for you guys to go give us a follow over there. Audio, social podcasting. It's like Twitter Spaces. It's kind of like sports radio. You listen to your favorite host, you call into the show, you chop it up back and forth. It's a good time. Chatsports.com/BearsCallin. More subs we get, we're going to get to do some live post-game shows during the football season.